Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to episode 74 of Shrigleytube TV. Hope you've had a good week. I've had a great week. Had a great time at Alton Park. Thanks to everybody that watched the 3 videos I put on leading up to this one of the in-car footage from Alton Park on Tuesday. Thanks for all the comments as well. Really enjoyed reading them all. Even the ones about my gear change, which is absolutely atrocious, and it's something I need to work on. That poor gearbox, somehow, honestly, I've been abusing them for years. The dogs are so strong in them jackknife boxes, it doesn't seem to bother them. But I do need to sort it out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed what you've seen, and thanks for coming back tonight to watch tonight's video. So hope you enjoy what you see tonight, and I look forward to catching up with you next Sunday at 7. Have a great week. Bye for now. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Monday morning, and it's time for Andy to select reverse gear. Now, last week you might remember I talked about putting a new cross member on this to get the back wheels pointing in the right place, ready for the track day tomorrow morning at Alton Park. However, I've got the list of excuses. I've got a bit of a cold, and I feel a bit rough, to be honest. Also, we had a busy week last week with Tim, etc. We didn't really get finished till Saturday afternoon, so I haven't touched the car. I've just drove it out of the garage now, and I thought, you know what, the engine's sweet as a nut. It's got the old 1040 in it that it's had for a while, and yeah, I just thought, why don't we just put an oil cooler on it? Because if you remember the oil cooler, I'll just turn the camera around. The oil cooler at if you remember from when we went to Brands Hatch earlier in the year, the oil cooler failed, and after I went through all the rumble strips, so we plastered it in grey glue, and it seems to be sealed now, but it's a bit late because it leaked on the circuit, and anyway, I pulled off early because the engine lost coolant, and I didn't want to damage the engine. So look at the poor thing; it's all gone motley and horrible. Well, it sounded sweet, and that's the engine we built, I think, in episode 1 or 2 when James came to visit me at the very beginning for the Brands Hatch in 2023. So yeah, what I'm going to do, the new plan is we're going to basically pull the tyre off this wheel and set fire to it because it's dangerous, and we're going to put the old tyre back on, because I'm going to buy new tyres for next year, but there is no point buying new tyres now and having them stood around. We'll get them in March when we start racing. So yeah, this one's okay. It's just that other one that was a dodgy one, and then I'm going to change the oil cooler, and that should be a fairly easy amount of work to achieve, because what we need to do is we need to have it loaded up in the race box and parked up at my pal's house near the racetrack before sort of 3 o'clock, because it's a long story, but if I leave it all here, I can't park it on the drive at home because it's all too long. So I'd have to take the kids to school, drive all the way to Manchester, pick the race box up, and then drive all the way to Alton Park in the opposite direction. So we'll drop the car off this afternoon or tonight with Stuart, and then that'll mean in the morning we can just drop the kids off, go straight to pick the race box up, and be at Alton Park for like 8:30. We'll get some in-car footage, and yeah, I think it'd be good. Be a good day. It's a better plan, that. I do honestly think that most of the handling issues were from the poor tyre. I don't doubt for 1 minute that the wheel isn't in the right place, but I just can't face lying on my back today. I'm going to giggle to myself about me old tyres. This is the one that's been on the car that had good tread on it, but obviously I can't find a date stamp on it anywhere. And this is the one that I'm going to put back on it. The car handled perfectly with this tyre. I know it's knackered, but I just found this. It's at 006, as in 2006. I really hope not. It's like 18 years old. No! Dale, is this your, look at your new workshop. Look how smart it is. Look at it. This is the new DG. Hey, Dylan, you'll talk to me, won't you?
I'll talk to you. Yeah.
Mate, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
How are you enjoying the new workshop? It looks amazing, mate.
It's alright. So search somebody else. It's absolutely fabulous. Ignore him. He doesn't work here.
I take it you've had a suitable pay rise looking at...
absolutely immense pay rise.
You have?
Yes.
Listen, mate, if you ever get sick of working here, I think you'd be a superb apprentice. He's not a child, he's 19, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 19. Yeah, I'm 13.
What are you doing filming, children?
Hang on, it's not dinner time. What are you doing out, you scratcher?
Oh, I'm here, aren't I?
Your missus
Trying to earn
kicked you
money.
out of bed.
No, I've come to take some money off you.
You had enough last week. Right, look at this, look at this. We've got a full MOT station down at DG Motors. So if you live in Stretford and you want your car MOT, come and see Dean and Dale. That's Dean, his lad there. Cracking pair they are. They work really hard and they've got a belting reputation for doing the job properly and looking after everybody. They're never ever quiet. They're always busy. Dylan, can I have a quick word with you over here, mate? Now, I know you've been at college and everything.
Pardon?
I know you've been at college.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember last time we changed the wheel, you had a little accident and knocked a big chunk out of it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Pardon?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't actually your fault,
Yeah.
mate. It was me.
I know.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be able to put that on there for me, please?
Maybe.
I've got a track day tomorrow.
If I find the time,
Oh, mate, you're a diamond. Can you make the time?
I can make the time.
You're a good lad, you are. Right, thank you. If you just get Dale to give us a tinkle when it's done, I'm going to go on there and play with my Hillman for a bit.
Okay.
All right. Okay, a quick update on the Hillman. It's a bodge-tastic week. This is the replacement oil cooler. This is the one that failed. I think the weight of the pipes caused it to fracture under here somewhere, and then we lost coolant. So what I've done badly is I've just brazed a washer there and there. So I use silver solder, and the idea being it's just gonna, if there is any weight from the pipes, it will just brace it a little bit. But this cooler hasn't got a problem as such. It hasn't got a leak. So this is just a temporary measure to get us through tomorrow, and then we'll put it on a Mocol cooler for next year, a proper one. I just need a quick answer so that I can get the car loaded in the box, ready to go. Just about to roll the Hillman into the race box, and I thought I'd make a quick video just to say how ridiculously overexcited I am about going out tomorrow at Alton Park on this test. There's my new oil cooler. It's not dripping, which is most handy. So I've been for a quick drive to Costco to get some fuel, and I've got to say, I don't think I've been this excited since I got loaded up ready to go to Brands Hatch earlier in the year. So I know it's only a track day, but yeah, very overexcitable. So gonna get him in the van now, and hopefully you'll join me in the morning for some sideways action. Morning YouTubers, I'm here with Stuart. This is Stu's gonna buy an imp and come out racing with us, but he's got a Rover. You were in episode 26, was it?
51, I think.
51. I got that wrong, didn't I?
Yeah.
Glorious here at Alton Park. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful day, considering how cold it has been and wet. Anyway, Stu said I can have a go in his, is it a Tomcat?
Yeah.
So we're going to try and put the camera in that, do that first, and then we'll get the Hillman out. Yeah. Just bumped into Malcolm. Malcolm's a subscriber. You might remember Malcolm from some episodes ago when we put an engine in your Jetta, didn't we?
You did? Yeah.
Now, Malcolm lives near my new workshop. How far do you reckon you are?
Not many, maybe 10 miles.
10 miles?
Something like that.
Right, we start at 8 and finish at 6.
Oh,
You get half an hour for dinner.
that's harsh.
Well,
At my age.
the pay's good.
Yeah, right.
Well, Mal, did you watch Sunday night's video?
I did.
The whole
I
2
did.
hours?
No, it wasn't 2 hours, was it? It was an hour
Yeah.
and something.
Oh, so you thought it was less? No, it
Yeah.
was 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah,
done.
I saw it all.
Good lad, good
I
lad.
only fell asleep once.
Only fell asleep. Right, brilliant. Well, thanks for being on the Shrigleytube, and if you want a job, just give me a shout.
Yeah.
And you can come and make brews and do a bit of machining.
Do I start with an apprenticeship?
Yeah, we'll get you. It's
2 years.
maybe. I think they called them improvers in your day, didn't they? You'd be an improver to start with, and then as you get better, we'll get you onto a full wage.
Yeah.
That'll be all right.
Yeah. I am very impressed with all these engines here today.
Yeah. I just had a go of this one. Oh,
Yeah.
Matt, Ed took me around this morning for the sighting lap. Scared
Yeah,
me
he
a
told
bit.
me about it. Yeah.
And then I've just been out in that one, and I've been in the Rover as well.
Yeah.
Mine next.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to rebuild mine from the Hillman Imp
All right.
next, the rally car, because you built it originally about
Oh, that's a.
1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It's got all the old stuff on it. It's still quick, but it's got all the old stuff on. So with you talking about improvers,
You want it
I'm
improving?
thinking about your
Oh,
engine.
just think, if you were working there, you could keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I could.
Bill, thanks for being on, Malk. I'll
Pleasure.
see you Sunday night. Okay, chaps, some in-car footage here from Alton Park on Tuesday in my imp. Now, unfortunately, the car had some chronic misfire that came and went roughly around 7,000 RPM. It tends to get worse with heat. We think the coil's gone down, but guess what? I didn't take any spares with me. So we just had to endure it, I'm afraid, and just make the most of it. So we had some good fun, but just as it was coming on cam and about to get going, it started missing every time, which really held me back. So anyway, we'll sort that out, that's not a problem. But I was also going to say, putting that old tyre back on the back of the car transformed the handling back to how it used to be. So it was great to get the feeling of confidence back with the old tyre on. Anyway, I won't go on because you probably want to hear the engine running rather than me. So hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, we'll get some new tyres bought for next year. Stuart, how was it?
It's absolutely brilliant. Just needed, it went red flag again, didn't it?
I know.
No time to get in the groove, you know.
Did you get 2 laps or 1?
It was 2, including the slowing down one on the red, that's all.
That snap oversteer's disappeared now, hasn't it, with that other tyre?
Well, I never drove it before, but there wasn't any.
No, it was good as gold for me, the handling.
It's
So I don't think the wheels were the problem, I think it was just purely that tyre.
I just need to get used to the whole seating position and everything, you know.
Hey, you look pretty good in there.
You need to really fit like a glove, you know. And feel like you've got the...
I do, I feel like...
I think I'd get there with a few laps under my belt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, brilliant. So we're going to see you out on the CTCRC grid next year, or what? A bit of a double drive?
I won't bank on it, but you know how much I like that series. It's just, let's just leave it as a maybe.
Right, okay. Well, we won't let the missus see this video, yeah? Right, brilliant. Nice one, Stu. Well, good morning, YouTubers. Cracking day yesterday at Alton Park. Great fun. I came in this morning full of dreams of big success next year. Car was handling superbly on its old tyres. It was purely that dodgy old tyre that I'd put on the back that made Brands Hatch so slippery. Anyway, we won't go into that now. I'm going to do some work, so before we get stuck into Ed's engine, I'll just do the camera switch, because I can. Ooh, posh, innit? Right, I was going to say, got Ed's engine in the cleaning tank. That's the spare engine, so he's got his new one in, which he seems quite pleased with. Had a little go of it, seemed quite good. So this is a crankshaft. Initially, when Ed dropped off the old engine that he'd had in for a while, that had the air contamination issues, he said, just give it a quick refresh or whatever. So I said, well, put a new crank in it and new bearings. He said, I've got a crankshaft, I'll drop it off, have a look at it. And to be fair, I've just put a G-clamp all over it, and it's absolutely bob on top limit. So I'm quite pleased with that. That'll be a good crank. We've got to turn the scroll off, make it a 3-inch diameter, so that it can run with Ed's rear oil seal conversion. But I have just noticed something. It's never plain sailing, is it? If you look, you'll see it's got a broken bolt in the back there. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and drill it out together. What we'll do is we'll drill like a 5mm hole. It's a 3/8 UNF, so its nominal size is obviously 9.35mm. So at 5mm, if we get it central, we should have plenty of skim round the outside, and then we'll put a bit of heat on it to try, because it'll no doubt be Loctited, and we'll try and wind it out together. Right, we're just gonna use the drill quite slowly, quite a lot of pressure. And just keep looking, make sure we're central until we get through to the other side, and then we'll apply some heat, and we'll put like some sort of spline tool inside it and see if we can get a turn out of it. Okay, that drilled out quite nicely. So what I've done is I've used this spline tool I've just basically tapped it in very, very gently, so it's kind of broached as it's gone in, and that gives you a bit of friction to get a drive to get the broken thread out. You can see the heat where I've heated it in the past. I use the heat because if it's got Loctite in it, the Loctite obviously reduces its strength when it gets hot, so it just helps for it to release. So what I've done is I've just knocked that in gently. Now you can buy a proper hardened stud extraction kit, but the problem is with them being hard, when you tap them in, they sometimes break, and if they do break, you're then really stuck because they're so hard you can't drill them out. So one of the reasons I drilled all the way through that thread is so that I have in theory got access. I could put something in there to push it out so that I could have another go at it should the unlikely event this breaking. So what I'll do, I'm going to heat it up, get some heat into it, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully it'll come out. Hopefully the burner will work. Doesn't want to start, it's a bit like my imp. Oh. There we go. Right. I'll get a bit of heat in this, and then we'll see if it'll come out. Right, got a little bit of heat into that now, so it's lukewarm to touch. Yep, so let's see how we're looking. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. We've saved it. So it hadn't been cross-threaded, it had just purely snapped, maybe from being over-tightened or something like that. Let's see what it looks like when it comes out. Look at that, I drilled it pretty straight, didn't I? Straight-ish. That's great. So we can get the end of the crankshaft turned now to 3-inch and give it all a good clean up, give it a polish. It's bang on top limit, so it would make a lovely crank, this. How good was that? Not that good. It's off a bit. Anyway, brilliant. The rest of the threads look good. So we'll knock that spigot bush out as well while we're here and put a new needle roller type in it. So it'll be a good job. Okay, we've got the crankshaft in the lathe now. The thread's fully removed. We've been through this a million times, so I'll keep it brief. Just clocked him up. So it's spot on. So we know that this, when we machine this diameter now and take the scroll off so it can run the rear seal, it's completely true to this rear main. Give it the best chance of sealing. So I'll machine that next, and then we'll get it polished. We'll turn it round to polish it so that it's going in the correct direction, same direction as of rotation. And then we can get a build on. Right, okay, got the crankshaft in the other way around now, so I'm on a 3-jaw chuck, grabbing him by the nose, and I've got him going in a clockwise direction, same as rotation as in the engine. It's just so that all the layers, as we polish it, lay the right way. So you can see it's lovely finish now. The journals have all cleaned up lovely, and I thought while I'm here, I'll just go on about it one more time. If you come to balance your own, polish your own crankshaft, pinch it so that in the event of the tape getting tangled up in the crank, you can just let go. And if you've got a stop, keep your foot on it so you can press the stop, because you've got to bear in mind that if you get caught up in this crankshaft, you'll only do it once. So yeah, keep safe. Brilliant. We'll get this cleaned. Okay, YouTubers, I was about to give us a bit of a dyno session with Pete's 1040. And I came in here to do my dizzy swing, which is where I hold the engine at wide open throttle at say 4,000 RPM, which is roughly where its peak torque is. And then what I do is I manually turn the distributor to find out exactly where it's giving its peak power. So it gives me an indication of just where it wants to spark to start the burn, so we get maximum push. And every engine's different. Now, I did think this engine might be quite sensitive because it's a high capacity engine, so it's 1040cc, well, in terms for a Hillman anyway. And it's got a sport camshaft, so its dynamic compression ratio will probably be quite high because, although its static isn't that high, because it's got a mild cam, the camshaft will be making full use of the bore and stroke. You know, so it won't be squashing with the valves open for long because it's not a wild cam, so we're getting a full sweep, so therefore the dynamic will be quite high. And when you've got a high compression ratio, that's your main dictator of your burn speed. So when we've got a fast burn speed and a high compression ratio, we have to be quite particular about the advance. And what I noticed straight away was this engine wants about 26-27 degrees of advance at 4,000 RPM wide open throttle. That's where it was happy. And when I've come down to idle from that, I've ended up with like minus 10 degrees on the thing. So instead of having an advanced figure where it fires before top dead center, it's actually firing after top dead center. So the engine's gone very lazy and harsh. And that's because this distributor is an AccuSpark distributor. It's their competition range one, so it hasn't got the advance. It's basically a copy of the Lucas 23D4. Now, what's happened is, I bet that's got about 20 degrees swing in it, which at crankshaft, because it's half speed, so at crankshaft, that'll be 40 degrees of advance. So basically it's going from, you know, say if we had 30, we're ending up with minus 10 at idle because that's the swing, 40 degrees. So what we need it to do is we need it to go to, say, a maximum of 30 degrees and start off with, say, 10. So that's a 20 degree swing, which will be a 10 degree swing in here, because it's always half in here because it runs at half speed. So 10 degrees here, 20 degrees here. As we are now, we've got 20 degrees in here, which is giving us a 40 degree swing here. But we can't start off at idle with minus 7 degrees of advance, or 7. It's firing the spark after the piston's gone past top dead center, so it sounds really lazy, like a brr, you know, it's just not right. In fact, what we'll do is pull the cap off before I mess about with the advance curve. What we should see is loads of movement on here. Okay. Right, yeah. So we really only need about 10 degrees, but we've got massive movement there. So we'll put a false stop on it, and that will stop it from advancing too much. And then we'll be able to start with our 10 degrees, and I reckon it'll run to 30, 33. So we're probably going 13, 33. So it'll be 33 at like 6,000 RPM. And then we'll be able to give it some wide open throttle properly and see if it's got any power. Okay, we're on and running with Pete's engine. I've just sorted the advance curve out now, so we've got a nice swing, about 13 to 33 degrees. That's from idle to max, so 13 at idle, finishing at 33 at 6,000, and it seems to be much happier now. So probably got a bit much fuel hanging around. We can always pull some out, but I didn't want it to be lean. I gotta say, best cam for this engine was the Imp Sport camshaft with this carburetor setup. It idles absolutely beautifully, and it runs really well. I think it'll be quite a nice drive for him. So just get my drive shaft to stop wobbling. I've just checked the air pressure today. It's 1,010, so it's not a brilliant day, but it's not a bad day. So we should see some half-right torque out of this. We'll go wide open, low down air. So 3,500 there, good 70 foot-pound. Back it off. Oh, dyno's been a bit slow. Give him a rest a second. That's a little bit too much now. I'm not expecting it to do much past 6 because the cam's quite mild, and it's obviously being a sport cam designed for an 875. It's numbed by the capacity. So at 5,000 it's holding a good 70. See what it does at 6.5. Yeah, it's falling off now. 6,065 foot-pound. 7,000. Oh yeah. There's no point revving it. We've got a bit of a glow on the exhaust, which indicates that the probably could do with a bit more advance. So we'll sneak a bit of advance in and see if we get some better figures. Right, we just sneaked 4 degrees in everywhere. Let's see if that helps it. So it's got 4 degrees more advance. Before you can see the exhaust glowing. That's because there was so much energy in the exhaust gases because it hadn't done their job in pushing the piston down. It's basically burning so late, it was actually burning past the exhaust valve into the exhaust manifold, causing it to glow red. It's just late burn basically, just firing it all too late. So that advance should help it. We'll try and go wide open at 3.5 again. Better in it. 75 foot-pound at 4. Should hang on a little bit better as well with more advance. 4.5, it's still holding it. 5,072. Maybe let's call it 62 foot-pound at 6,000. Let's have a look what that is. 62 multiplied by 6123 divided by 5252. Ooh, it's got 70 horsepower. But the more important thing about this is it's got some nice torque. We'll just go back. I think it was about 4,000, did I say, it was peak torque. Holding it at around 75 foot-pound. Right, let's have a look at the end. Right, I'm not sure how I'm going to explain this without getting myself tied in a knot, but basically I've gone up on the fueling, even though I considered it to be generally fuely, and I think it'll help it because we're on a shared inlet and the manifold lengths are all different, and etc, etc. What we find that 2 cylinders get more than the other 2 cylinders. In this case, it's a weird scenario. It's like 1 and 3 run lean and 2 and 4 run richer. It's an A series issue where you've got like 2 ports for 4 cylinders where it's Siamese. Well, this is very similar because you've got 2 chokes for 4 cylinders. So I've been in and took the plugs out, had a look at them, and I thought, you know what? It won't hurt it as much being rich as it does hurt it being lean on the 2 leaner cylinders. So I've gone up 2 jet sizes just to see what the difference is, and I actually think that it'll do more power now because we'll have more fuel hanging around for the lean cylinders, and it'll be less of a hurt for the rich cylinders to get a bit more. Does that make sense? Anyway, we'll see what happens. So we'll try him down at 3.5 first, make sure it's not gone rich. It feels better, to be honest, already, unless it's in my imagination. So there you go, look at that. At 4,000 now it's got 75, 76 foot-pound, massive help to it. It's just, we're always aiming to get each cylinder balanced doing exactly the same thing. So it's probably why fuel injection is so good, when you can trim the cylinder for the perfect amount of fuel in advance. Obviously, loads of compromises using a single carburettor. It obviously prefers to have more fuel than less. Let's see what it's doing up at 4.5. Got it at 5 there. So at 5 now it's got about 75 foot-pound. Try and get a 6,000 figure, see if it's giving us any more horsepower. So at 6 now, about 65 foot-pound. In fact, at 6.5 we've still got 63. So let's see what that gives us now. 6,500 multiplied by 63 divided by 5252, 77 horsepower. I wouldn't have said it's a 77 horsepower engine, to be honest with you. I'd say it's probably more conservative, like a 73 or something, but I think it's cracking that. I think that'll project him along nicely. Little stumble I'm doing is I'm going to take the load off it and just check the pump jets are working properly in that car, because I've not had it apart. I want to make sure it's perfect for him when he picks it up. Okay. Bit of a break from the routine. Gonna do a cam belt on my Audi. I love this car, but I've not been using it because I've not put a belt on it yet. So gonna put a belt on it. Strangely, the first thing you do is remove the headlamps, bumper, all this comes out of the way. Quite a simple operation. It's early on. Oh, look at him there. Richest man in Moss Road. Yeah, I had to bring happy hour nearly an hour forward because of the light. So I've got myself set up for tonight's work, which is putting Ed's engine back together. So I thought I'd have a cheeky hour outside, get this apart. Once it's started, I'll soon smash through it. Okay, it's time to start putting Ed's engine back together. This is the one that we took apart on Friday, or Saturday afternoon, sorry, and put on Sunday night's 2-hour video. So this is the crank we just machined, so I'll give that a polish, maxed it up, that's everything's good there. We're putting his old pistons back in because they were new, but not that long ago, probably a couple of 3 rallies. Obviously his cam carrier's worn, so I've got his new one there with the new cam followers. I'm going to put a new pump in it and a chain while there, new bearings, some thrust. The head, I've not touched it, just give it a bit of a decoke in the chambers because it's all been apart. And I was going to put it on, I thought, oh, could I cut the seats and make it on sport valves and all that? And I thought, no. Not getting involved with it. It all worked. He was happy with it. It's just a spare. It wants liners really, but it worked. So sometimes you just gotta go with it because that's what you've been asked to do. So it'll be fine. It'll be a good spare for him. Hopefully he won't need it, but I'll get the bottom end together, or certainly try and get the bottom end together before home time tonight, and then tomorrow we'll try and get a tune out of it on the dyno. Okay, good morning YouTubers. It's Thursday morning. I stayed late last night and got Ed's engine back together. This is the one that had the worn crankshaft on the Sunday night's 2-hour video. So it's got the new crankshaft in now. I've let it run all morning, and it's got cracking oil pressure, no problems at all, really happy with it. So I just want to prove the bottom end's okay before we take it off and give it back to Ed so that he can have it as a spare for next year. But I thought, after following on from our chat about ignition timing yesterday, where we ran Peter's engine and we shortened the advance curves to suit the engine, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in the dyno cell. I've set the camera to 4K, so hopefully it'll be good quality for you, and I'm going to take it to peak torque, which is only about 4,000 RPM, 4.5, because it's got that mild BP cam in it, the BP 285 I think it is. And I'm going to do a dizzy swing, which is basically where I move the ignition timing to find exactly what the peak position is for the spark to set the burn off, basically. So by moving the distributor, we change the amount of time that the spark has to burn the fuel before top dead center. So obviously we start it off before the piston gets to the top because it takes time for the burn to happen. But obviously the faster it goes, the more time is required to get the burn going, because the burn speed is constant but the engine speed isn't. So we need, that's why we have an advance curve. We need to start it earlier the faster the engine goes. So what I'll do is I'll just set it at peak torque, because that's where it's most sort of delicate and if it's going to pink or rattle. What we should be able to see on the dyno is the torque needle. We should see it go up and down as I go either side, either retarded or advanced. Obviously I don't want to go too far advanced to make it pink, because it won't like that. But yeah, I'll go in there and do that now. Anyway, I'll go in and wind this on and we'll see what happens. Okay, YouTubers, we have a visitor in the workshop today. It's Ed. How are we doing, Ed? You all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Thanks for agreeing to come on Shrigleytube and talk about your little engine here. We'll just start by saying, what's this actually out of? What car is it?
It's a Opel Kadett, right? Don't be confused with the Vauxhall Chevette, because it is a different engine. But it's a 1.2 pushrod engine out of an Opel Kadett.
Right, and this is the same engine they put in the early Astras, the Mark 1s.
Yeah, that's right.
And some Novas.
Some Novas, yeah.
Because my mate's mum had a Nova with a 1 litre, and it was a tiny little engine.
Same one.
Yeah, we used to absolutely thrash it everywhere. It took the pain, no problem. Iron head, iron block.
That's the one.
Yeah. So this one, we think, because it hasn't got these holes drilled and tapped, we think this might have been out of a front-wheel drive application.
Yeah, correct. Because the one that's fitted to the Kadett, obviously, the engine mounts go there, and it locates 3 places.
Right. Now, I don't normally do anything other than imps, but I've met Ed at Race Retro, was it?
NEC Restoration Show.
Restoration Show. And Ed's a subscriber to Shrigleytube, and we discussed this some time ago. So when I get sorted him a new unit, because he's in no particular rush, we're going to give it a bit of a tune-up. So he's brought, it's very similar to an imp. If you look, it's got like, it's a nice forged crank. Don't know what it's made out of, but maybe there'll be some markings on it, but it's nice forging, free bearing like the Imp. The piston, this is a reconditioned bottom end, and we were going to use this, but if you're looking inside the piston, I'll just zoom in, can you see that big slot there? That slot is, instead of drill holes behind the oil control ring for the oil to travel back down the inside of the piston to the bottom end. And if you rev these pistons up, they tend to crack because of the big slot on the skirt.
Yeah.
So this would be a great engine because it's brand new. It's all been reconditioned for someone who's just got like a standard spec Cadet and just wants a nice engine for it. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave that and we'll start with a worn out engine.
Yeah, we've got another one.
I've been getting all excited because I've been thinking, I reckon we can put an imp rod on this. We have to get it ground. We might even be able to offset a bit of stroke into it because it's short stroke, big bore. But you say 79.5mm bore?
At the moment, yeah.
So
I think you can take them out to 81.
Do you know what the stroke is?
I don't off the top of my head.
It can't be more than 60 or something because otherwise it'd be a bigger capacity. So it's a short stroke engine. Yeah. And what are these carbs off? These are lovely.
Well, there's a little sexy looking coupe called an Opel GT, and you could get that with this engine in. But when it had this engine in it, it had these twin Solexes on it, and that's what those are off. They're off one of those.
Right, well, we're going to put those on. So I take it it's just got 2 ports on the head and it's Siamese.
That's it.
At least they're in the top, so it's downdraft. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I reckon we should be able to get a good bit of air. I'm actually quite excited about this little project. I like little projects like this. So what I'll do is we'll wait for the next engine to arrive.
Yes.
It's more than likely going to happen in the new unit next year, this.
Yeah.
But we'll make a plan and we'll start getting the ball rolling. We'll work out what bore and stroke we're going to use, what rod we can use. Because we've got, although it's quite a short block, if you look at it, the piston pin is so low in the piston that we could get a longer rod in, move it, we need to put it on a decent piston, a decent forged piston to get it to be able to cope with a bit of compression, etc.
Yeah.
What's the land like for sealing head gaskets? Is it thin like a Mini, or has it got loads of space? Oh, it's got ample space there, hasn't it? That's ample. And it's an iron head as well, so just a good standard head gasket will be sufficient to make the air. Could be quite good, this Ed. So, Ed, where have we just been?
Oh, mate, Japati Corner, right up my street.
Was it? Did you enjoy that?
I did. I've been looking forward to it all week.
Have you? That was cracking. I did take a picture. I'll put it on next. But I've got to say, if I do come to Birmingham way, or is it Wolverhampton where you based?
Well, I live in Staffordshire.
Oh, Staffordshire.
I'll get down there. Wolverhampton, Birmingham way.
Right. Well, if you know a good place, we can go down there. You did say there's some places there that might be a good feed.
Yeah.
I'll pop in and we'll get some tea.
Yeah.
Belting. Well, thanks very much, Ed, for being on Shrigleytube. We need a head as well next time, so we can have a decide how that looks. I'll Google it.
I'll sort that out. Yeah.
Brilliant.
No yeah.
Excellent. Right, I'll see you Sunday night. Good morning, YouTubers. So yesterday, it was Friday today. After I got back from dinner with Ed, we had a few bits of jobs going on. I started taking this off a dyno, and I just wanted to say I'm happy with this engine now. Did exactly what I wanted to do. It's just had the crankshaft. We checked the oil pressure. It's dead quiet and really happy with it. So that'll be a good spare for Ed now. That's his old engine. Now we nicked the manifold off it. This is my slave manifold and carb setup that I just use for everything in the workshop to test. So we nicked the manifold for Ed's new engine, which he's just done the test at Alton Park with on Tuesday. And we did him a new set of Delautos that you watched me rebuild last Sunday. So they went on his new car. So that meant I had his old carbs left over, which are here. So I just took these apart. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to rebuild them and waste an hour of your life. What we're going to do is we're just going to put them in the TFR tank and get all the old muck off the outside before we get ready to put them into the ultrasonic tank. So these carbs were jetted to that engine that's on the dyno, and what I do is I want to keep these carbs with that engine, so should Ed need an engine in an emergency, all he's got to do is take the engine out of his car, take the manifold off, put these carbs on his manifold with his linkage, etc. We know these are jetted to that engine, and you can just put it in and run straight away. But they just got a bit muddy. I had already rebuilt these not that long ago, probably about a year ago or something. So I knew that all the gaskets and O-rings were supple and good, so there's no problem there. So we'll get them cleaned, we'll get them in a tank, and hopefully they'll be all cleaned up by the end of the play. YouTubers, I'm just on with doing some crankshaft modification. These are the cranks that Frank, you remember Frank came and machined the 930 crank to take the imp flywheel. So he machined them down 12mm, created a new spigot there for the imp flywheel to fit on. I put a load of blanks in, which were machined down in the old threads. So now all we've got to do is put them on the radar drill here, and I'm just drilling the dowel hole first. So I can put a dowel in, and then I'll re-drill and tap, and that'll be, that crankshaft then can go in an imp, and the imp engine will never know it was out of a 930. Got another B1 block there being converted, another new one for dry liner. And then this is a really good sight, this, isn't it? It's Bergerac.
This is a rarely
with
seen
his
sight.
wallet coming out. Now,
you know, you don't often see me passing over money, especially to you.
have you sold something?
Because I know that you're only going to buy some more scrap with it. That's the worry.
Mate, you're giving me a bad reputation. Don't say that. Now, Burrs, I booked the go-kart in for the works team.
That's what this is for. And for some oil.
Oh, wow.
There you go, look at that.
Absolutely.
So let it be heard.
Give,
you owe me £1. You owe me £1.
Change. That's interest, because you've owed me money since before the NEC, where you were extremely popular, walking around getting recognised, and people saying, "Oh, are you Bergerac?" You know. Yeah. So, anything news to report? We just thought
Nothing too exciting, really. I sold my midget. I've got my new Stratos is arriving next week. Well, the chassis.
Oh, can we come and see it?
So you'll have to come down and see it when it arrives.
Excellent. I'd like to see it.
Boxes of bits.
Bare bones. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Oh, another one. What engine you putting in?
Another
this one?
Alpha V6, 3-litre one this time.
Are we going to supercharge it?
No.
Can we turbocharge it?
No, doesn't need to be. Naturally aspirated is the way to go.
Is it? Right, okay. I'll be advised.
So, yeah, you can come down next week and have a nosy.
Brilliant. Well, I just wanted to get you on Shrigleytube, because if I don't put you on each week, I get emails asking where you are. So there you go. Yeah, right, well, thanks, Burge. We'll come and look at that next week. In the meantime, I'll carry on filling my box of swarf and chewing out crankshafts, and hopefully we'll get some engines built soon. And in the outtray, belting. Cheers. Right, just on the first stop, which is to put the dowel in. So I've used a specially ground drill, which is basically tight on 9.5mm. So when I come to offer that in, it won't go, but it will when I put it in the press. So I'll press that in, and then we can locate the flywheel on and drill the other holes. Okay, so I put the dowel in now, knocked him in, and I've put the flywheel over, using this as a template now. This isn't the tapping drill size. This is the same size drill as that hole. I'm going to spot face, make marks basically, dimples for where they should be. And then when I've got a suitable size dimple, I'll remove the flywheel and we'll drill the hole tapping size for the tap. Okay, I've just took the crank off the radial drill. I've drilled one of the holes for the tapping drill size for the 3/8 UNF tap. And I've tapped that one. Obviously, we've got the other 3 to do yet, but I just thought I'd do a test. I'm just trying to lower this over one-handed. So this is the flywheel, an imp flywheel. So I drop that onto the index and the dowel, lovely. And you can see the thread is in perfect alignment with the hole in the flywheel. So that's great. Just got the rest of them to do now.
Right, I've just swapped a couple of leads around because they've got different numbers on them. So I'll try it now. Don't know. I'll give it a go. Result, and I should have not looked at the numbers on the leads. I should have looked at where the leads were going. So I just swapped 3 and 4 round, and it works. Beauty. I'm well chuffed now, but I've got to get out of it. It's smoking.
Okay, well, after last week's video, with this one just being 1 hour, you should be bright and awake now. No one should be asleep. Bit of a long one last week. Didn't go down well with everybody. One of my customers stroke friends ran me to say that when his missus saw it was on for 2 hours, she said, right, if you're watching this, I'm going to bed. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, Tim just sent that last little video over there of his engine. He worked really hard. He only got back on Monday night from England into Jersey, and he's fitted the engine around work and got it running. So well done, Tim. I look forward to hearing how you get on at Goodwood. If you do get a chance to get inside the ECU, I'd say you've got far too much crank in advance, and also you need to pull some of the extra fuel out for cold start, because it sounded rich as sin. Either that or we've got the cam time in a mile out, which I don't think we have because we checked it. But anyway, well done, Tim. And thanks for coming and watching tonight. I'll hopefully see you all next Sunday at 7. Have a great week. Bye for now.